Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. My brackets are ready to go. They are ready to be revealed. Well, actually, they are revealed. Um, Give me a second. I don't know what's going on here. My stuff is a little bit crazy, but it's all right. So yeah, my bracket this year is looking a little bit crazy on the men's side. We're talking men's side first. Um, we a have a bracket where North Carolina is the last team in, despite the fact that they probably should be in. But again, because of the way, sometimes conference tournaments matter, sometimes they do not. It just is what it is. And it's the overall body of work that kind of matters. So Auburn being the number one overall team, still does not make any sense to me at this point. But again, they have all those quad one wins. And that is why I have them going pretty much the distance. Louisville is underrated at an 8 seed. I do have Creighton beating them now. I'm just saying. 5-12 matchup, that is an easy pick. I think Dusty May's got, a good squad. But at the same time, UC San Diego is a tough out for him. I think UC San Diego will make it all the way to the Sweet 16. And I just did not buy them. They lost to Texas in the SEC tournament. They had some big wins, but at the same time, there's some things that went against them. Iowa State, I think they'll get all the way to the Sweet 16. Same thing with Michigan State. Really solid squad. Florida on the west side of the region, really the team that is the most hot right now. And I think they will get, pretty far in this thing. UConn, unlike last year, unlike what I said early this season, I don't think UConn will be making it back to the title game. I just think they're a lot weaker this year. I do think they'll take care of Oklahoma. 14 SEC teams in this field. Insanity. Again, I don't really think my Longhorns should be in, but because of the metrics and because of what they did in the SEC tournament, that is why they're in. That's why a team like Indiana is out. Again, don't have a bad performance. Again, sometimes conference tournaments matter. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes, and again, it's about the whole body of work. So Ohio State not meaning it really doesn't really. It's fine. That's fine. We don't need Ohio State in this field anyway. Xavier got in as one of the last couple teams in. Good for them, though. Good for them. They did get in. West Virginia, a lot of bracketologists, basically every bracketologist picked West Virginia to be in this field. But again, West Virginia had a loss that just did not make any sense, and that is why they are out of it. And again, I don't have all these SEC teams really kind of doing too much. You see, I have a 6-11 upset in Drake, beating Missouri. Now, that Kansas-Arkansas game is going to be spicy. Same thing with the potential St. John's Kansas or St. John's Arkansas matchup, but I'm picking St. John's to go pretty far, to be quite honest. Duke, Cooper Flag got hurt in the ACC tournament, but ultimately Duke, who honestly at this point I think they should be the overall number one seed over Auburn, but again they set the committee sets the bracket on Saturday night. UNC's AD is the committee chair. He had to be excused. That's why he could say anything about UNC, so they had to get Keith Gill of all guys, to say something. And again, because of the girth of the SEC teams in this bracket, I just didn't really know what to say here. I do have a 12-13 matchup in the round of 32, which is crazy. And I think Liberty could do something. There are some teams I just do not buy. I definitely don't buy Arizona being a 4 seed, but again, whole body of work. Again, because a lot of these teams have losses that are really, really something. I mean, BYU had to be, a 6 seed because of, their Sunday policy and everything like that. I think they'll get to the Sweet 16. I think this is a pretty strong team. I think Vanderbilt will get to the Sweet 16. I buy Alabama, but at the same time, they have definitely been exposed multiple times. And then the team that is absolutely going to do some work, some damage in this field, Kelvin Sampson's Houston Cougars. My goodness gracious. Clemson is a 5. which makes no sense. I know Will Wade and McNeese. I know it's a trendy 5-12 upset. I don't think Gonzaga's making it back to the Sweet 16 for the 10th straight year, boys. I just don't see it. Not this time. Not this time. And then, again, Texas Xavier, they made it in. They'll take on Illinois, who I just do not buy either. I think they're like Purdue to me, where they have had some pretty bad losses. But I mean, Underwood's got them going. I mean, Purdue, also has a very talented roster, but I just don't see them doing too much. I just don't see it. I think Tennessee will do a lot more. I don't know why I have Kentucky advancing all the way to the Sweet 16, but I mean, again, the way the bracket is for Kentucky as a 3 seed, which they should not be a 3 seed at all. Should not even be close to a 3 seed. But whatever, man. Whatever. Let me move my bracket a little bit here. Let me kind of make things a little bit bigger. Yeah. So we're gonna go to my Elite 8 picks here, which I have. Hang on, something's going on. We're gonna go all the way here. For the men's side, if my browser will work for me. See, in my Elite 8 coming out, you see what I have, for my Sweet 16. You see I have Tennessee, Kentucky, Texas Tech, St. John's. I think Texas Tech is a really good team. Again, they have a favorable draw. That's why. And then I have Auburn, St. John's, Duke, Houston in the Final Four, with Houston ultimately getting the win over Auburn in the national championship. I really think St. John's with Kadary Richmond, Rick Pitino is having a hell of a season. But I think at the end of the day, I think we are getting a Houston national championship out of this. I want to say Duke. I want to say Auburn. But I think somebody's going to be surprised when Houston comes up with this title. I really do. I really think so. So if you don't think so, then I guess you're on something. Well, you're not on anything. But you get what I mean. I think this year's bracket for the men's side is a little bit weird because there are a lot of SEC teams in this field. There are not double-digit Big Ten teams in this field. That's why there's no Ohio State and Indiana, which I didn't think their resume stacked up anyway. Boise State is another team that was on the bubble that did not get in. And to be quite honest, yeah, I can see why, because they got absolutely smacked around by Colorado State in the Mountain West Championship. So I can see why, things did not go the way that they were supposed to go for them. So there is my men's bracket. And so I'm going to give you all my women's bracket real quick. We're going to give you my women's bracket because it's going to be a beautiful one. It's going to be even better than this one, I think. It's going to be even better than the men's side of things, I think. I think this bracket right here is just absolutely beautiful, man. This is a beautiful bracket. They don't really talk about, nonsense like, oh, well, yada, yada, yada. South Carolina being – okay, first off, let's just break it down from the top. I have UConn winning the national championship, like I said, at the beginning of the season. I think Paige Beckers, Gino, they will cut down the nets this year, I think. UCLA being the number 1 overall seed, that is fine. That is totally fine. South Carolina being the number 2 overall seed is fine. That is fine. USC being behind Texas is kind of weird to me. I can see why UConn is a 2 seed. The Big East is not good. Not good at all. When your only competition is Creighton in the Big East, I can see why you're a 2 seed. So yeah, the women's bracket, again, it's a lot more easy to pick because, again, I think a lot of the top teams have more of a chance of advancing. That's just the way the women's game has been. So we are definitely getting some big time matchups in the final couple rounds here, which I think we'll have a USC UConn rematch from December 21st. I think we'll have that in the Elite Eight. I know Haley Van Lith and TCU, as a 2 seed, I think they can do some damage. But I ultimately think Texas with Rory Harmon and Maddie Booker, I think they will get it done. Juju Watkins, of course, I don't know if it's their time yet. They lost to UCLA in the Big Ten championship game, which that should have done something to them, but again, it did not do any damage to USC at all. I think they should be the third 1 seed instead of the fourth, but whatever. You have teams like Iowa getting in the field. Reagan Beers in Oklahoma, I think they will fall to UConn. Again, Oklahoma State is also a pretty good team. I think they will do some damage. I don't know about Louisville. I'm not as high on Louisville, so that's why I have Nebraska going ahead. Ohio State is another team that is a very, very tough watch. Tennessee, they want to watch out for them. They want to watch out. Kentucky, Georgia Amore, Kentucky. Kansas State is a 5 seed. I don't really know if they should be a 5 seed, but whatever. And again, my final 4 prediction is just gonna be, I think we're gonna have South Carolina beat Texas a third time. Texas has to shoot the 3, and that's the problem. South Carolina's depth has been too much for them in 2 of the 3 matchups, and Dawn Staley's crew, I think it's just not enough. And I think again, UCLA with Lauren Betts can totally go all the way, but it's just how are they going to fare against UConn? How are they going to fare in that matchup? And again, I have Duke surprisingly going all the way. West Virginia's defense is absolutely phenomenal, though. I mean, my God, I really wanted to pick them to go to the Elite Eight, but I think Duke can do it, too. I think Duke has the pieces there. I really wanted to pick West Virginia to go all the way to the Elite Eight. That defense is absolutely phenomenal. LSU, Flau'jae Watkins, new crew, Kim Mulkey's squad, definitely Elite Eight worthy. I don't know about Florida State, though. Again, the brackets, the bracket in the women's side of things is a lot easier to pick up on. So I think UConn is going to put belt to ass on South Carolina yet again. I think that is what's going to happen. I think that's what we're getting in our national championship and everything like that. So yeah, that's basically it from me as far as the brackets go. It's going to be a good time when it comes to what in the world kind of national champion are we going to get. So yeah, my national championship predictions are as follows: Houston on the men's side and those UConn Huskies on the other side. In the meantime, the NBA, Luka Doncic has gotten pretty good at this basketball thing, when he's playing with the Lakers. LeBron's been out with a groin injury, but it doesn't really matter. Rockets, Nuggets, and Grizzlies are all kind of just fighting for the 2 position. The Thunder are definitely clearly the 1 seed in the West with SGA. They're playing the Bucks right now. As of the time of this recording, they're playing the Bucks right now. Should be good. And, the Trailblazers, are catching up to the Suns and the Mavs. The Mavs, again, injured to hell and back, may even forfeit games at this point. That's how bad it is for the Dallas Mavericks right now. A lot of teams, have about 15 games left, 15 to 17 games left. So, the Warriors being where they are, really good with Jimmy Butler coming into the fold. Steph, Draymond, they are having fun out there again. The Warriors, are looking to be in position. The Timberwolves and the Clippers are kind of fall to the wayside, though. The Kings, the Aaron Fox is out for the year, too. That's one thing that also came up. Wemby's done for the year. So many guys are done for the year now, as far as, injuries are concerned. And it's just a sad state of things. Jalen Brunson's been hurt, so the Cavs, they lost today to the Magic, which is insane. Their 16-game winning streak has come to an end. The Cavs are still clearly the number one in the East right now, but the Celtics are right behind them with that lethal combination of Tatum, Brown, and others, which, again, the Celtics are the prohibitive odds-on favorites to go back-to-back, to me, in my personal opinion. Bucks, again, really good team. Pacers and Pistons are the 5 and 6, and they are definitely going to probably stay that way unless the Hawks and the Magic can get themselves together. The Heat and the Bulls, they are in the basement as far as, the ceiling for the playoffs go in the NBA. And the WNBA, well, the players, they're having a little bit of a spat with the WNBA as far as, the CBA and stuff like that. So many outspoken players that have really given their all. Natasha Cloud, Angel Reese, they are saying, hey, we kind of need a little bit more money. Give us a little bit more. We're not saying, and the thing people kind of got wrong here is, oh, well, people were trying to spend this as, oh, well, these WNBA players want as much as NBA players. No, they want a little bit more, they want a little bit more of that revenue share, Things are moving up for the WNBA. Things are moving up. 44-game schedule this year. Games on ION, ESPN, CBS, Amazon, all sorts of different places. Now, next year, in 2026, NBC will come into the fold. ION and CBS expected to keep their deals, that'll keep them. So, WNBA will have like 3, actually, no, they'll have 4 over-the-year partners next year, which is insane. Insane amount of depth for the WNBA. That rivals the NFL at this point. So, yeah, I think the WNBA should be getting, some more, but there has to be some things that need to be stated. Games are being moved to bigger arenas for Caitlin Clark. Let's just be real. That's what's happening. Is the marketing there? I think it can be. We have 13 teams that are playing this year. Golden State, the Valkyries are playing this year. That'll help that 44-game schedule a little bit. How are they doing their first season? We don't know. The WNBA draft is next month, which a lot of people are saying Paige Beckers will be going to probably the Dallas Wings. And I will be catching a Dallas Wings game this summer. I will be going to Arlington yet again, making another mecca to Arlington, which is going to be very, very hard because, I believe those are Sunday games, and that's kind of hard to get to Arlington on a Sunday. But, I'll find a way. I'll find a way to get there on a Sunday and see what in the world is going on. Yeah. So there may be a little bit of a clash between the WNBA and the players, but who knows at this point? I think Kathy Engelbert has to get, more positive momentum on the WNBA side. You're going to have those 2 extra partners, next year. Definitely keep them in the fold. You got to keep CBS and ION in the fold. You got to continue to market, these young gals that have been doing so much on and off the court, inspiring young ladies to pick up these basketballs and get to playing. Unrivaled is a thing, but honestly, nobody's really watching Unrivaled. Less than 200,000 viewers for basically most of the season for Unrivaled. I know their semifinals and their championship and whatnot, that's coming to an end this weekend. And I believe the championship is tomorrow. But again, I don't really care at this point. A lot of injuries, in Unrivaled may cause some things to happen. We have 12 extra roster spots this year. That is also a thing. And a lot of players have been traded around in the WNBA. So, yeah. So that's it from me as far as everything is concerned. I'm so glad to see these brackets out. The field for the men's side, I'm a little bit way more iffy on it than the women's side because of those last few teams, because the bubble was atrocious. Let's just keep it 150%. The bubble was god-awful. So awful that I don't think anybody really wanted to pick these teams in. West Virginia, I can definitely understand why, they should have been in. A lot of people had them in. I don't know why they're out. Maybe it's because of the loss in the Big 12 tournament. Maybe it's because of their season in general. Maybe it's because they didn't have enough wins. Again, a lot of these just comes down to the whole body of work, and the whole body of work apparently for West Virginia just wasn't enough. You have to look at the net rankings too, which Texas was basically safely kind of in with their, net being, kind of where it was. Again, the only team that made no sense here was North Carolina. In fact, North Carolina could have been the last team. Was the last team in. They were the last team in, and yet they could have been the first team out. Thanks, UAB. You could have did us all a favor, UAB. You could have did us all. In fact, my UNT Mean Green could have did us all a favor too, but lost UAB, whatever. There's an HBCU bracket now for some reason. The CBI is a thing. The NIT is dead. Like all these other postseason tournaments, they're kind of just there. The college basketball crown is a thing. Oh my God. I forgot that's a thing. Yeah, I'm out.